Hi everyone, I'm Mrs. Bowman. I am your child's first grade teacher for this year, and I am so excited that they're going to be in our class and we are going to have so much fun this year. A little bit about me to get you started. You can see this is my family on the left. It's my family from last year. We went to New York City for the day. In the front is my son Eric. He goes to Temple University. He's a business major and he plays volleyball. And behind him in the left corner is my son Carter. He is a senior at James Madison University, where he is studying political science and Chinese. And he is currently studying for his LSATs to go to law school. On the far right is Mr. Bowman, my husband. He works in business here in York. And of course, there I am. And I have been teaching in the York Suburban School District for the last 8 years. So this will be my 8th year. I've had a whole separate career before that. So I went back to school to be a teacher. Really, truly was my calling. And of course, on the right is my puppy, who's 13 years old, Pogo. And she is obviously our baby girl, as you can see. So my goals for us this year, I thought this was great. When I pulled my goals out that I've always had in the past, they hadn't changed. COVID-19 didn't change my philosophies or my goals. And I really found that to be very positive. So it's to provide a classroom where all students feel safe and secure, meet each student at their instructional level, and provide challenging experiences. I really love challenging students. They rise to the occasion every time and love learning, such sponges of information. And teach students to care for themselves, others in the world, and of course to make learning fun. So everybody loves school as much as I do. And I'm sure they already do love school and are so anxious to be back. Okay, so you have a red folder just like in kindergarten, and that is where papers travel back and forth for us. Today, or not today, but when they come back from their first day at school, they will have the early dismissal form, the parent sign-off sheet, if you haven't already sent that in, any medical papers that they don't have. And there's also going to be something to sign up for Seesaw. Seesaw is a tool that I've been using in the classroom for 4 or 5 years. Your kindergarten teachers might have been using it a little bit. I think I use it differently with our class. So I will be taking pictures of things happening in the classroom and sending them to you. And you may have seen that with the kindergarten teachers. But not only that, but your children will be creating things and sending them to you. I use it as kind of an as a formative assessment. So they're showing me a project that they're doing. Like I might say, tell your parents about the stages of a butterfly's life. And then they'll draw a picture, they'll put labels on it, they'll send it to you, but I also get to see that they understand the stages of a butterfly's life. And the really cool thing about Seesaw is that you then get to write back to them. There's an app for it for your phone, so look for that. Download it on your iPad or whatever devices you have, your Android, your phone. You can look at it just on your computer if you don't have that, and you'll get little notifications just like you do with Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, Twitter, whatever you use. You'll get little notifications just like that with Seesaw telling you that there's a new item there. It might be just pictures I've been taking in the classroom to show you what's happening, but it also could be something special from your child to you. It's really safe. I'm the administrator, so anything that your child creates, I look at it first and then it goes straight to you. Anything you send also filters through me. And so there's no worries about pictures or anything going out into the wide world. It is just within our classroom. So I can send something to all of you. You can send something to your children. Your children can send something to you. That's how it works. And you can send notes to me as well. So please sign up for this. It really is extremely important. And it really, especially this year when we're not allowed to have volunteers in the classroom, it's going to make you feel like you're in the classroom. I've heard time and time again from parents um, how it just makes their day to see something um, show up on their phone, and then all of a sudden it's a special note from their child, knowing that their child is thinking about them while they're at school and you're at work. It's very nice. So sign up for it. Navigating the district site as a parent, I wanted to show you it has changed tremendously. So I'm going to go to Yorkshire Elementary. And first thing I want to point out to you is that our building secretary has been working very hard about putting some information about COVID-19 and how we are going to be handling things here at Yorkshire Elementary. So you can go ahead and click through and look at these and see what the requirements are for the children for face coverings, how we're handling food service, whatever you're interested in. We still have all the same things. If you're looking at parent and guardian resources, you can still do that. You can find out what the first grade supply list is under parent and guardian resources. And let's see. And under that same website, that is where you could, where did I just have us? Oops, sorry. This would happen in real time too. You can also, so the supply list, but you can also put in an absence. Let me get to it. Parent and guardian resources. So if your child is absent, you still need to call in. You can click here and write in your note instead of sending a note into me, into the classroom, and having me have to go into the folder, get it out. Probably just less touching just to do the absent note online. I think that makes the most sense. Back to the presentation, but take some time to go ahead and look through this. Oops, clicked on that. Here we go. So the subjects that we have in first grade: language arts, math, science, and social studies. I'm kind of a really into science type of person, so there will be some different fun science experiments that we'll do throughout the year, and really just love that inquiry-based learning. I'm going to send you this presentation afterwards, so if you click on me, you can watch a video and learn a little bit more about the Wonders Reading Program. It is the same reading program that your children had in kindergarten, but you can certainly take a look at that, learn more about it. You can see we're covering all the same types of things that they had in kindergarten. Writing is a little different than in kindergarten. In kindergarten, they had 4 teachers in the room. They had their classroom teacher and 3 different aides to help them write. So they were in these teeny tiny little groups, and their teachers were helping them sound out every word. And it really works well with teaching them letter sounds and blends and things like that. And it's so appropriate for kindergarten. In first grade, it's just me in the classroom for writing. So what often happens is we'll see a little bit of a drop off in their writing because they're now becoming more independent. I'm giving the responsibility more to them to hear the sounds and to sound things out. And sometimes it just takes a minute, a little bit of time for them to get there with that. But I do something really great in our classroom. We have monthly celebrations of writing. We share and publish in interesting and unique ways. I treat it more like a writing workshop where they will write some rough drafts, pick one of them, edit it, and then make it into a final work. And we usually do one a month that actually gets us to quote unquote the published stage, which could be just sharing it with you on Seesaw. It could be putting the stories out in the hallway at school, all different ways, but we celebrate ourselves as writers. So guided reading and intervention. So we will be doing small groups, and I will be doing a lot of things in small groups with the kids. Our rooms are going to have a small number of kids in them to begin with. So on the 2 days that they're with me, they're going to get such great instruction. And I'm really excited to see with a small group of students for a couple days a week, I actually think that we might see tons of growth happen from that. So I'm excited to see how that goes. With math, we have a couple different things that we do with math. We practice our basic skills, and we also work on higher level thinking. We try to use hands-on activities when we're doing it. We play games. We learn place value, and we have an automaticity in adding and subtracting within 10, and it's a very exciting growth year for math. I mentioned a little bit about science earlier. We do inquiry-based learning, and we do physical science, earth science, biological science, a lot of things with plants and animals, actually. So it's pretty exciting. What I like to do is, it's a new version of the scientific method. This inquiry-based learning, and what it is basically they run through the steps of that they have a question, a hypothesis that they have to answer. They run through some experiments, and then they get an answer. But then the really great thing about this is that they then have to ask another question, because that's really what science is. It wasn't running through an experiment and getting an answer. After the answer, you're always wondering more. So it's exciting. Social studies, we cover civics and government, economics, geography, and history as appropriate for first grade. My classroom behavior system. So we have the 4B rules, B's off the hive, and I send home notes as needed, positive notes, notes about things that didn't go so well. I really think it's very important that we work together as a team, the parents and the teacher. We have to be on the same page together. Really very helpful. We have a guidance counselor who will come in and teach some lessons about things. For the most part, I would think that you really probably won't hear from me very much about classroom behavior. Just like, I probably won't hear about what's happening with your child as far as behavior is concerned at home. Most problems throughout the course of a day, a week, a month, whatever, I'm handling as the teacher, and your child is learning and growing. You have to hear from me if what I'm trying to do isn't working, on what your child is struggling with something. Then you would hear from me. For the most part, I would think you will not be hearing from me anything except for things are going well, and etc., etc. Snacks and birthdays. Snacks are provided by you. They should be healthy snacks, and I do not provide snacks if they are forgotten. Especially since we're trying not to be touching things, especially food related, handing them out. I'm going to avoid that at all costs this year. Birthdays. So normally I would always have the students bring in birthday snacks, and we celebrate the birthday in the classroom. We can't do that this year either, so it's a little bit different. I haven't worked out all the details of what I'm going to do to celebrate and honor your child this year on their birthdays, but I will work it out. And a lot of kids have October birthdays, so I will certainly have it figured out by then, and I certainly will communicate that with you before that time. There are some summer birthdays. Of course, we will celebrate you in the spring, and I don't think we have really many kids in the spring who have birthdays, so it'll be great that we can celebrate our summer birthdays a little early. So stay tuned for more details. Homework. Homework is really, really important this year. So we go to school for 180 days. That's the law of the state of Pennsylvania. Public school kids go to school for 180 days. So we're not actually in the brick and mortar school for 180 days this year, since, I'll take for example, the Monday, Thursday kids. They will be in school for 2 of the 5 days of the week, Monday and Thursday, but they're going to be home on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday. Those count as school days. And so then the onus is on you, and the obligation is that your children do the work on those days, to have those days count as the 180 days of school. And I've been working with my first grade team to figure this out. And we have a pretty good system, I think. Let me just go over a little bit of it with you. So the first 3 weeks of school are something called Start Smart, and as far as reading is concerned. And during the first 3 weeks, we review what we learned in kindergarten. And so we thought it would be great to take those first 3 weeks of school, plus those first 2 days, that Thursday, Friday, those first 3 weeks of school, and those Smart Start weeks, and make them the work that you do at home on those 3 days, all packets. Because just to ease us all back into what we're doing, and I want to show you a little bit about what those packets will look like. One thing you will have is your kids will have a math tool kit that will be kept at home. These are just 2 items that I've put in it so far. It'll be a little fuller than that. And they will use these tools at home. They'll live at home, and they will use them at home to help them with their math homework. Okay, now let's go to the reading section. This is the first sheet that I did for that Thursday and Friday. I revised it going forward, and I'll show you what that looks like too. Basically, it's the same thing though. It says, this is your homework for 8/21. Return it the next day you return to school. And then it has all these different activities that are in it, okay? It has the math activities, the reading, and the writing. And each one of these are some worksheets. After that, we revised the system a little bit. It makes it a little easier to understand. So if you look at the top of the yellow piece of paper, it says this work should be done on 8/26, and it should be returned on 8/28. That would be the next day that these Tuesday, Friday kids would be back in school. The same with the Monday, Thursday paper. If you can see that these assignments are exactly the same, these packets are going to look the same. It's just the day that they're going to do it and the day that it's due vary. So you will have, depending, a Tuesday, Friday will always have these yellow pieces of paper that go home with them these first 3 weeks, and the Monday, Thursday will have these green. So you'll get 3 packets for the 3 days that you're at home. So like the Tuesday, Friday kids would get a Monday packet, a Wednesday packet, and a Thursday packet. And they have to be returned and have to be completed. So they should be something your children can do on their own. I will have already taught the material in class the day before or 2 days before, whenever I saw them last. And then this packet is to practice what they've already learned. So they should feel some independence doing this. This should feel kind of comfortable for them. And the packet should take them about 3 hours. Do they have to do it all at once? Oh my goodness, no. And some of it is playing a game, and some of it is writing. If you can see at the very bottom of the paper, it's writing. So they're going to have a writing journal that they'll be taking back and forth from school. So what we're going to do after the first 3 weeks, the kids will have their computer. We don't have our computers quite back at school yet, but the computers will all be refurbished back in the classroom. I will have spent the first 3 weeks really working with your kids on how to get into Google Classroom, how to use their username and password, how to do an assignment in Google Classroom, how to do all the technology stuff. So I'm going to be training them on that as part of our school day. So then when they're at home 3 weeks from now, I don't have to send home packets because I'm not a worksheet person. I don't want your kids sitting on the computer all day. I don't want them doing worksheets all day. I want them doing a variety of things. I want them using their hands and building things and thinking that way. But then sometimes they're on the computer and sometimes they're doing a worksheet and they're varying their learning because that actually is the way they're going to learn the best. But they will know how to use the computer for the computer parts. You will still get a check-off list like this, but it might say next to it, computer, in Google Classroom. And then they'll go into the computer and I'll practice all of this with them and I will communicate it thoroughly with you. So all you really need to worry about right now is 3 packets for the 3 days they're at home for the first 3 weeks of school. So it's the 3-3-3 system. So after the first 3 weeks of school, we'll change it up. I'll make a video just about that to explain it all to you and walk you through what's happening. Okay, so that'll make it easier. So don't worry about it too much. That's just the gist of how it goes. Conferences and report cards. I'm not sure if our conferences are in person or not. We'll have to wait and see. If they're not, we'll Zoom conference, and we'll do those at the end of September into early October. First time. Report cards will come out in January. We'll have conferences again in March and our final report card in May. Exciting. So this slide I haven't changed, but let me tell you, is communication ever important this year? So communication is key to a successful year. I've always said that, but even more so now. So Seesaw is like you're in the classroom with us. I talked about that. I'll send home newsletters on Fridays. Sometimes they might be a video explaining something to you. Sometimes it might be in writing, or maybe a combination thereof. But you can expect to hear from me. And you can contact me by phone or email anytime with any question. I think it's really important that we stay connected. And things I could use in my classroom to help with supplies. Well, I have hand sanitizer, wipes, tissues, paper towels, and hand soap. I do have some special high-end wipes that I got supplied to me from the district. So I might not need your regular wipes, but hand sanitizer, tissues, paper towels, hand soap, those are always things I can use. And if you could gift them to the classroom, it would always be greatly appreciated. And guess what? We are going to have an amazing year filled with lots of fun and learning, and I am really excited. This challenge of hybrid learning had me a little nervous, but I'll tell you what, I am excited about it, and I can see the positive aspects of it for your child and your child's experience this year. It's going to be really unique, but I think it's going to be special in so very many ways. So, thank you very much. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. I know I just put out a whole bunch of information there, and it's sure hard to follow this way as opposed to being in person. But just know I'm excited and we got this. All right. Thank you.